mix up the colors for the helmet. It's got to match the dragster. I'm going to start with the red. I've already put the base in. Nice bright red. Add some reducer. White. When I look at the dragster here, it doesn't look like an overpowering bright cold white. It's a little bit warm and it's a little bit gray. And what that does is makes it look a little richer. If I just made it bright white and he got out of that dragster with this bright white helmet, it would be overpowering. I want it to be a little more like the dragster. It's a bit more elegant. We've got our white, we've got our red. I got to make a little bit of black. I actually want the black to be a little bit transparent. We'll do a logo with it, and then also on the graphic that we've laid out, I want to blend that so that you'll see through it to see the carbon fiber of the helmet. A little reducer in there. I've been messing with BASF paint and colors since I was just a kid in my dad's shop. And there's not a better paint out there to mix the colors that I want. Can't wait to get all these on the helmet. The orange tape will be exposed carbon, and then I'm going to airbrush right next to the orange tape black so it'll blend back to exposed carbon. So it'll be solid here, but just going both ways to exposed carbon. Look like a lowrider? I've been working on Doug Kalitta's helmet, and I've got it all painted. We did all the logos, and I hand striped the Mac on both the front and the back of the helmet. Now what I'm doing is, I taped off the inside of the helmet, as you can see, and when we painted it, the tape was still here, and I'm not happy with the edges of all these holes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut all that tape out. I'm going to file them and clean up the holes, and then I'll come in and I'll brush touch the edges of all those holes. And then because we have the Mustang in the spray booth, I can't put this in and clear it right now. So I'm going to haul it up the street. And those of you who are overhauling fans, you'll recognize Mitch Lanzini. I'm going to give this to Mitch, let him put the final clear on the top of it. We'll color sand and rub it, send it to Doug Kalitta, 330 some miles an hour down the quarter mile. Can't wait to see it go. When I was really young, working at my father's shop, When my grandfather passed away, I inherited his toolbox. Now, he was a snap-on tool guy. And when I inherited his tools, I was real excited, and I bought another toolbox, and I ended up having a lot of snap-on tools. And when we started overhauling, I went to Snap-on and asked them if they wanted to help with the show, because the way it worked, I was taking all of my personal tools to the set and letting everybody use them. And my tools were just disappearing, and I thought, maybe Mac or maybe Snap-on would help us out. And I went to the local dealer, asked him who I should talk to. He gave me a couple names, and I went to an office and I talked to some people, explained to them what we were doing, and they told me that they weren't interested in working with us. I was really disappointed, but there was nothing I could do about it. And it was a few months later that we got a call from Tony Merritt, who worked at Mac Tools. He had seen the show, and he says, "We want to help you. We'd like to donate all the tools for the show." And soon after that, I became a Mac fan, because they care about the people and what we're doing. And I was really touched that Mac cared enough to help us out. And I have been a Mac fan ever since. I gave away all of my Snap-on stuff, and all I have now is Mac Tools. And I want to thank Tony Merritt and Mac Tools for all they've done for us. Now, with this relationship, that's how I met Doug Kalitta and the rest of the Kalitta teams. And last time I was at the tool fair, which happens every year, that's where everybody that has a tool truck comes out, and they get to see the new tools, and they get their award for the special achievement awards for who sold the most tools and whatnot. And I've been involved with Mac now for years, and I have watched families grow up, because it's a family event when you go to the tool fair. And I've met kids that were just tiny, and I've watched them grow up, and now some of these kids are driving the trucks. And it's truly an honor to be associated with Mac Tools and all the people, because that's what it's all about. It's these relationships. And so when I was there the last time, I was looking at the new dragster and the graphics, and Doug was there. And I said to him, I said, I'd like to paint another helmet for you, because I've done several. I've done the graphics for him, but if you're familiar with the Mac Tools Doug Kalitta dragster, that's what I'm picking up this graphic off of. And can't wait to get this finished, get it sent off to Doug, and watch it go down the track. One of the cars that I painted for Doug is hanging next door. And it's kind of a funny story, but it worked out to my benefit, because when they asked me to paint the car, well, usually it's just a wrap. It's a computer wrap with vinyl. And when we were doing that car, I said, I'd really like to paint it, old school. So it's all real paint and letters and everything done, and then clear over the top of it and make it a beautiful car. So they sent the body. It came in a giant box, and we pulled out this brand new carbon fiber dragster body. And it was really ripply, and I wanted to fix it. So we did. And then we painted it. And when we got it all finished, we color sanded, we rubbed it, and it's a beautiful car. And then I sent it back to him. And I get a phone call from the race team, and they said, "What did you do to this body?" I said, "Well, we painted it." They said, "Yeah, but you added 72 pounds to it. A computer wrap is only 11 pounds. Well, as I just told you, it was fairly ripply, and I wanted to make it nice. So we skim coated that whole body and blocked it so it was flat. Then we primed it and sanded it and prepped it for paint. So they told me at that point, they said, "That's way too heavy." They used it, and they said, "After this race, you can have the body. We'll never use it again." Typically, when they do a computer wrap, they'll peel it off and do a new wrap. It didn't get the new wrap, but they sent it back, and I've hung it in the shop. So it wasn't a good thing, but it was a good thing for me, because now I have a really cool keepsake. It's all about the little details of, if you just leave it all masked up and you paint the whole thing and then you unmask it and all those edges are crude and not detailed, it's it's a reflection of the rest of the helmet. I always think the worst part of the job is your reputation. So make everything as nice as you can. I just cleaned all the holes and I brush touched all the holes around the edges so they were clean.
So they're not black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you put clear on it or anything?
We cleared it once and then I sanded it and then I striped
Yeah, that's smart.
this. So that's
So you could fix
raw.
it. And you did all your little drop shadow with airbrush?
Yep.
It's gonna look great. Do you want to spray it or you want me?
You can spray it.
I'd love to. I'd be honored. When the clear hits it, it's gonna come to life like son of a gun. I love it when they give you just a bare shell with no rubber, no interior, because it'll come out perfect.
Well, I brought Doug's helmet down to Mitch Lanzini's. If you're an overhauling fan, of course you can see it on the wall there, you know who Mitch is. Mitch probably painted 80% of all the cars on overhauling. And we had a lot of fun doing that.
We had a great time.
But we've got the Mustang in the booth at my shop, so Mitch has an empty booth. He's got a gun and he's got the talent. So Mitch is going to put the clear on it, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate it too.
Yeah, we got to get this back because Doug's got a race. Let's go. Okay, that looks good.
When it feels sticky,
Yeah.
it's clean.
That's it.
Yeah, that works good. Just like that. Down here, they're going to put that rubber.
Doesn't matter, yeah, there's going to be a rubber on the edge.
Okay, let's make some paint.
Well, the helmet looks awesome. Thank you, Mitch. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
We're going to leave it here in the booth, let it dry. Tomorrow morning I'll come down and we'll box this thing up and ship it off to Doug. Looks great.
And it'll go 300.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
This smooth is going to do 400.